Welcome everybody to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. Most of you know that the 1 Million by 1 Million program aims to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and thereby building $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. Of course, it's a very, very difficult project, and our success really is predicated upon your success. You are the ones who are going to need to hit real serious success in building $1 million businesses and beyond for us to reach our goal. So we have to all be working very hard to get there. This is our 117th roundtable, and as you can tell, we've been doing this for a long time and have lots of experience in working with entrepreneurs. This roundtable is being recorded. You will have the recording available to refer to, because often a lot of dense stuff gets discussed in the sessions, and people working with me want to refer back to the discussion to actually act upon it. Of course, that means that it's going to record my broken voice as well. Apologies for that as well. If you are live tweeting the show today, use hashtag 1M1M. Our Twitter handles are @1M1M and @Sramana. Now, before we get going with the entrepreneur presentations, a quick announcement. Microsoft Israel is doing an event with us on March 12th, and this event is co-hosted by the Israeli Startup Network, headed by Arlene Marom and Ken Shostak. Microsoft Israel will be awarding one-year scholarships to the 1 Million by 1 Million Premium Program for the top 3 companies that are going to be presenting at that session. There are going to be 10 presenters. We're going to do a 2-hour session on March 12th, and that is an upcoming event. We have actually 3 events in Israel in March, and then we have another 3, not 3 events, actually, probably about 7 days of events in India. I'm actually on my way to India. Those would be in Pune, 3 days in Pune, a day of events in Calcutta, as well as a couple of days of events in Bangkok. There's a lot of intense working with entrepreneurs in Israel and India coming up in March. But meanwhile, today we are working with entrepreneurs, 1 entrepreneur in India and 1 entrepreneur in Santa Barbara, California. Of course, John Lynch is a premium member of the program. And we have a whole bunch of other people in the room who are introducing themselves in the public chat. So everybody in the room, please use the public chat to introduce yourselves, to tell everybody where you're joining from, what you're working on, what your project is, where you heard from 1 Million by 1 Million from. And there will be people from 1M1M in the room, and as you need to ask questions and so forth, you can ask them there. All right, with that, we're going to move to Arun Purohit, who's going to present Simply Buy to us today. Arun, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sramana. I'll begin. This is a venture or a product of my dream. I started on this company 1.5 years back. I was a military officer posted to Batenda and then to other remote places. And what I found was when I started learning more about that city and I was able to know good stores, at that same time my posting came in. So I kept on moving to different cities, and what I found was most of my happiness, it was dependent on how good shopping can I do in that particular city. So when I came to a new city like Pune, I found that most of the things were pretty expensive. I was a novice. I didn't know where to buy it cheapest. And the people, they knew that this is a guy who's working in IT industry, is drawing a handsome salary, so pay everything at sticker price or more. So this is the problem which I was trying to solve. So this question came to my mind: what if I create a platform where people can share this information? Where is it cheapest? So this is a question which everybody asks. When I want to buy an iPhone for myself, when I want to buy an iPad or a refrigerator or anything, even when I wanted to buy good ergonomic chairs for my office, I ask the same question: where do I find it cheapest? So this is the answer to which each one of us are excited to find out. My location is Pune. I founded this company. My product went into beta in mid of December, and the handles to my personal profile, Quora, Twitter, Facebook is as shown on the screen. So who is my customer? So I remember one small saying of Steve Jobs. Once he came in, he was giving a presentation for his iPod. He said, who is on the earth doesn't like music? Everybody likes music. So market for music is very global. So the same thing comes to my mind. Who doesn't want to buy it cheapest? Who wants to sell more money when he can buy it at a lower price? So for the customer for Vic, the application which I've developed is the entire globe. It's a global application which we have developed. So representative, if I have to start with somebody, I cannot win all battles at a time. So I have taken some customer segments to which I want to introduce. Now this person on the left you see is a urban tech employee. He keeps moving from different cities. Sometimes he is in Bangalore, sometimes he is in Arkansas, and other times he is at London. So essentially if he wants to buy anything, he will keep thinking where does he find it cheapest. So my platform gives this kind of an answer to this individual, where is it cheapest? And essentially we have developed Vic as a social network. So this guy, if I have to name him Srinath, Srinath will get to know what his peers are buying, at which place they are buying it from. And there are certain places, maybe like in China, India, or certain Asian countries, shopkeepers always start high. And essentially we have to bargain and we have to get down at the bottom of the price. So essentially we have made this kind of a platform where you get to know what your peers are buying, at what price, and from which seller. So this essentially is my value proposition to the customer. So can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So this is how I have segmented my customers. The junior IT employees, the guys who have 20 to 27 years of age, they have good amount of surplus, and they are the customers who want to buy aspirational products. These are branded and standard products. And essentially when they join a company, they have huge amount of surplus in their bank every month, and they are looking for purchasing bikes, clothes, shoes, and gadgets at a lower price. The second customer segmentation is that of middle IT employee, who essentially looks for real estate, fancy phones, durables, home decor, and cars. And here again, when they want to buy durables for their home like TV, fridge, microwave, etc., they want to look for the person who's selling it at the lowest price. The other person can be the IT BPO employee. Certainly this is a kind of a class in India where a lot of guys who have not got professional education, they are general graduates, but they essentially get handsome salaries, they stay with their parents, and they've got huge cash surplus with them. But they want to buy very high quality products. They want to buy fancy gadgets, clothes, apparels, and alcohol. So these are the people who want to buy good products, very aspirational products, but they want to pay a low price for them. So this is the customer segment we are trying to address.
And all your numbers are in Indian rupees, right? 25K to 50K per month?
Yeah, correct.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. That's all money is in Indian national rupee.
Okay.
Can we go to, yeah. So this is our customer acquisition strategy. After having built the product, like we started promoting this product in social media, we have an active Facebook, Twitter, and other things. We have gone on word of mouth. So essentially we leverage each and every of our friends network to tell them this is the kind of an application which we have developed. At this stage, search engine optimization is what we are doing right now, and which has also got us a good amount of traction. Last 1 month, we have climbed almost 1,70,000 ranks in Alexa. So we are climbing at a rate of 5,000 ranks per day. That's the rate at which Vic is climbing. In addition, we are doing campus festivals. In the month of January, we were showcased at IIT Bombay as one of the most promising startups in India. So we got a very good reception in IIT Bombay. At next stage, we'll be franchising this business. So essentially, there will be city-specific marketing teams which will be going in, creating an initial seed content, getting the initial set of sneezers or active users, and then our business model will take care. So once we start monetizing, we'll go for other forms of customer acquisition through internet advertisements, AdWord search, and also target marketing through out-of-home media and DTH.
What is the monetization?
Next slide. Yeah, monetization strategy. I'll just come. This is the customer validation. I've come in. Monetization, what we have done is we are initially concentrating in generating a good user base of around 10,000 people. And in addition, there are some very unique features which we have added, innovative in our application, a concept called I Want, whenever somebody from your social network or from your peer group buys a particular product at a very exciting price, our normal reaction is, oh, you bought a beautiful stuff, I also want this. So essentially we'll be collecting a lot of I wants from people. So this I want button on Wix collects three important information: the product which was bought, the price at which it was bought, and by what time this person wants it. So essentially, if we have a good database of people explicitly saying what they want, it becomes a very good information for retailers who want to target sell their products to them. So in terms of customer validation, we showed our application to some of the biggest industry experts, the people from McKinsey. Jason again is a Silicon Valley CEO. When he saw Wix, he says, yes, it's a click awesome product. This is the simplicity which we have bought into our product. In a single click, you are able to get to the meat of the application. So throughout the world, the validation has come up pretty good for the product.
Arun,
yes.
That is not what we consider customer validation. Customer validation is customer validation.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
But here is industry experts' opinions. That is not customer validation.
Okay, correct. So essentially, Sramana, what I was thinking is that the kind of people who are going to use this, like if you see the first statement from Tarun Sharma, who is Yahoo product manager. This is a person who shifted from Bombay to Bangalore, and he faced certain amount of a problem, and he said he wanted a solution. So when I told him about the value proposition, this is what he said: it can totally transform the buying experience of individuals, not only online but also offline. I'll show you more about the validation, how customers or end users they have taken to this application.
Yeah.
Can you go to the next slide?
How many end users have you got, and what are their reactions?
Okay, so the number of end users we have got till date is like we have 1,200 registered users, like within the last 2 months. This is the amount of registered users which we have got, and their reaction is, first is they're pretty happy with the design. And what we find it at this stage, most of the people, they are initially skeptical about a new application coming in. So it happens with almost like every Web 2 product or a web social product, it's slowly sinking in. So essentially people are finding good content. At this stage, this is what the challenge which I'm coming at. We need to seed a good amount of data. So essentially the challenge remains is if there is good amount of content which is already there on the website and there is amount of engagement which is built in, then more and more number of people start sharing in. So this is the model. If you can go to the next slide, I'll just explain the business model.
What geographies do you have presence in right now?
Yeah, so currently in Pune, we have got a presence. That's the city in which we are operating. So we have done most of our content seeding in Pune, and hereafter we'll be moving into Bombay, Bangalore, and then to the National Capital Region, which is New Delhi.
But you're going to have to go city by city because, you know, if you have, unless you have a critical mass of people and content in a particular city, the application is not going to be sticky. People are going to move on.
Correct. I agree on this. So that's the reason why I said like we need to go in a franchisee model. So once we have proven or perfected our product so that it's immensely usable, the product is sticky enough, it is easy to use for people, then essentially we'll be getting franchisee partners. Spoken to one entrepreneur there in Delhi, he's got 120 franchisee across India. So through franchisee model, these are the people who will be seeding content in different cities where we move in. For example, Delhi, Bangalore, even Ahmedabad.
That depends on whether that will be successful or not. It all depends on your business model, whether a franchise model can be fit into your business model. So you have to tell me, before we discuss the franchise option, we need to talk about business model. But you want to finish about your validation?
Yeah, so about my business model, what we do is like we have created a framework where we initially seed good amount of content data, which has come in through our own experience and through some of the campus ambassadors. So in Pune, what we have done it, I went to a college called Symbiosis, and I initially spoke to the student council member there. So he got excited about the product. So what we have got is a buy-in from 4 guys in Symbiosis who say they will be able to spread this product. So essentially they have become our campus ambassadors. So most of the students who are there in Symbiosis, currently they have come from different cities, and these are the people who are not very familiar with where to buy a particular product and at what price. So these students essentially they will go, they will experiment, they will find out and they will report prices. So this is essentially what we are initially targeting.
So Arun, students don't fall in the three categories that you have outlined here as your target customer segments, though.
Correct. So here my aspect is, in the preliminary stage, I have to create a good amount of content on the site. Now the guys who are in IT, they are the people who will be consuming this information. I need an initial set of users who will be able to create this content. So my initial focus of getting the brand ambassadors, the people who can initially create a content. For example, if we talk about Quora, so Quora, the initial content was created by, not by the customers of Quora, but the people from Facebook who came along with Adam D'Angelo, and they initially started writing good questions and good answers to them. So the people who initially faced the problem or who found the question and answer forum very sucky, these are the people who initially started solving their own problems. So this is the approach which I'm taking right now.
But you are counting on these campus ambassadors to do the content creation. What is the incentive for the campus ambassadors?
Yeah, correct. So essentially, most of these students, they are in their either third year or like their final year, they are doing internship with us. So we give them recognition, we give them an email account with this. So essentially, they are getting a certification from us that they have contributed very well. And what I have told them, if they do a very good job in doing a promotion or digital marketing of this company, I write a very good profile for them, a recommendation for their profile on LinkedIn. Essentially, these guys are MBA students.
You're recruiting them as interns.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So this is what Vic has spread in last 7 or 8 months. We have say around this much amount of visits, 57,000 page views, and close to 9,000 absolute unique visitors. So at this stage, after January, when we showcased our event at IIT Bombay, thereafter our marketing campaign has picked up. We have given responsibilities to these campus ambassadors, and also we have registered with IIT Kharagpur, from where we will be getting 3 students for 2 months each. So during this period, we are getting through campuses initially, so that like they come in and they help us spread the word not only to themselves but also to their elders and other people they know. So what we find is going to premium institutes.
What you're going to from the campus ambassadors, first and foremost, is content. So the way I would frame the internships is, the way I would structure their internships is that they have to generate a certain amount of content to get credit for their internships.
Correct.
So you could get for the 7 metros, let's say in India, you could get campus ambassadors, interns, who are going to be developing the critical mass of content, and you have to give them very clear guidelines on what content should they be researching and putting up as the starting point.
Correct. I agree on this.
I think the thing that you have to be careful about is that once their internship is over, you still need to continue to put up content and continue to, so in any case, you have, for each city, whatever that seeding you are doing, it needs to start flowing into the community, and the social content generation needs to start by the time their internships finish.
Correct.
Otherwise, you'll have
so we have built it.
Interns for all the time.
Correct. So essentially, this is what we plan to do after these internships are over. We get a greater amount of funding. We'll have a separate content creation team, which will initially do the seeding, and will keep monitoring the quality of content which is coming onto the site.
Yeah. Okay. And what is the deal with the retailers? How are the retailers signing up? What does that mean?
So here on retailers, what we have done is we have got sign up from 15 retailers here in Pune. One of the biggest dealers of Whirlpool has signed up with us, and essentially when we go to traditional markets and the places where people are totally competing on prices, these are the retailers who are finding our product very exciting. And many of these, they have been actually apprehensive, they are fearful because of foreign direct investment or because of onslaught of malls. They have lost a lot of their customers. So when we go and tell the traditional retailers that you are the guy who give real value in terms of pricing of a product, but most of the new guys who are coming in the city, they are buying their products from malls at a much higher price. Then they find that this product is the one which really attracts them, and this essentially gives them a reach and access to the guys who are working in technology area, the guys who are spending a lot, and these are the people who, then when we tell about this story, then they find that this is an extremely useful product. The feedback which I got, this is exactly what they needed. So the guys who are very competitive in price.
I got the value proposition. What does that mean when you say retailers have signed up? What are they doing?
So essentially, when we spoke to them, they give us this entire price list, and they tell us like how their prices are better than anybody else, and even online. There are many sellers like Let's Buy or Flipkart. These are the companies which are selling, but they say we are able to sell at a price even lower than them in their own city. And with more reliability, people can walk in, they can try the product and buy. So essentially, they give a very good cost advantage to end users. And this is sign up. What I mean is they are able to share their entire price list with us. So they want their entire price list to be uploaded onto our portal.
So talk about the price list. You have a feature in the product where people can register their products and their price list. Then sounds like.
So essentially, Vic, we have built as an application with 3 dimensions. The first dimension is people are able to add their product independently. If they find a product very exciting, they're able to add product. If they're able to find a store which is very exciting, which adds a lot of value, or it's got a good variety of products, they're able to add the store independently. And when a third person finds that, he's found a very good product at that store at a good price, then this loop is completed.
All right.
So this is the achievement as I talked about the rankings in last 1.5 months. On 20th December, we launched our beta, and currently within the last 2.5 months, we have been able to rise consistently in terms of Alexa traffic rank. And now this is this is the traction which we are developing right now. And we want to go faster. Like our target for the month of February was to reach within top 50,000. So we overshot our target, and currently we are targeting to be in top 30,000 sites at end of this month, in next 9 days. And our target is by end of March, we should be in top 1,000 sites in India.
Okay.
So these are the challenges where I wanted help from you. One is user acquisition without spamming. Like I as an end user have always hated spam. I've always hated unsolicited SMS. But this is the way most of the people, they try to acquire customers. So essentially sending mass emails, which we do not like to do. We want to increase traffic to it. There are certain conventional ways, like writing a lot of blogs and promoting it, then doing a campus event. Some conventional methods are known, but I want to be more creative on this. And also, as my business grows, I want to know what are the key metrics I must measure, so that I'm able to constantly add value to my product and ensure that their critical things are taken care of. And also one major challenge is, though I'm getting funding from a lot of people, but it gives me a lot of self-respect if I turn cash positive, if I'm able to meet my own expenditure, so that even if some investor doesn't put in money, I'm able to grow my company. And other 2 things which I look for is like how do I internationalize my application, and what kind of a goals I should set for getting funded, getting a Series A funding.
So you haven't talked about your business model. How do you make money?
Oh, sorry, like I forgot to put the slide into it. Now, one aspect is I told you on our website, equivalent to a Facebook like button, we have a I want button. So when more and more people explicitly explain what product they want, then essentially if I've collected 1,000 I wants from different consumers, this database can be auctioned to the people who have a lot of inventory, who want to sell this product to these people. So currently there are no direct ways of reaching out to these people. Most of the traditional medium like TV advertisement, newspaper advertisement, or even Facebook, they are not effective because essentially you do not know who wants to buy that product at what time. So this is what Vic will capture and sell to the people who have inventory.
So how much time does it take for you, do you think, to get to a critical mass where you can start monetizing? What is your assessment at this point? At what point do you have enough data that would be attractive to people to pay for?
So my gut feel is the moment I have 10,000 users and of which there are say 10% active users, like 1,000 active users in a particular geography, that's the time I'll be able to monetize. The other parameter which I really look for is close to 2 to 3,000 visits per day on my website. That's the time I'll be able to monetize. And third thing is the moment I am able to hit within 1 lakh, say 1 lakh global rank in Alexa, that's the time even my advertising model will open up.
So
time-wise, I think 5 to 6 months.
I want to tell you a few things about your Alexa assumptions. It's actually not that difficult to get to the top 50,000, but getting to the higher levels of Alexa is not that easy. And unless you are in the very top, advertising revenue, unless you have millions of users, advertising revenue is minuscule.
Correct.
So don't count on advertising. One is, I think, be realistic about what you can expect out of your, traffic acquisition, and be realistic about your assumptions on advertising. I think what the issue I see with this business plan is making it turn cash positive is a lengthy affair.
Yeah.
And with 1,000. I want buttons, the amount of money you can make by selling that data is actually quite small.
Okay.
You're going to have to come up with monetization models of, that relate to the, retail industry and the advertising industry's numbers and so forth, and that those, you have to create a way for, retailers and product vendors to be able to consume that data, and you have to create monetization models. And I would like you to create some of those pricing model assumptions and to create, both TAM analysis and revenue forecast analysis to see, cash flow analysis to see when can you start actually generating real money out of this.
Correct.
What worries me about this business plan is that there is a lot of red ink financing that needs to go in here, which is only doable if you can raise a significant amount of money. And what I don't have good visibility. You have not presented a good cash flow analysis to me to say what is that red ink financing period. Do you know what your assumptions are for the red ink financing period?
Can you explain? I'm not aware about this term red ink. Can you explain a little more?
Period when you're not profitable.
Okay, correct. Okay, so like there are certain things as I discussed with you, when retailers have signed up, the first question they asked us is how much of money will you charge us for letting us upload prices on your portal? So at this stage, I said, I am not willing to give you a particular pricing. I'm giving it to you free for 3 months. And when I try to find out how much these traders pay to different agencies, for example, they are paying to Just Dial close to 12,500 per year for getting a lead routed to them. So I was just thinking for each trader, if I'm able to give close to 6,000 rupees, if I'm able to take 6,000 from them for letting them upload their prices on them, so essentially if I'm able to get 50 such sellers, I turn cash positive. So there was this inherent revenue model which came in out of accident when we started showing this product to people. This was not planned in our business. So this was a surprise which came in, and we thought like this can be monetized.
So, the model that you're talking about, this like lead generation model, this in the Western world, there are a lot of businesses that have been built with that lead generation business model. So this actually you're saying you've accidentally stumbled upon that business model, but this is a viable business model. You need to explore that business model and create a business plan using that as your anchor business model. It's not advertising with which you're going to turn this business into a real thriving business. I think it is with that lead generation business model that you're starting to encounter, flesh that out and create a pricing model around it and start turning that into your, your core anchor business model and see when you start turning profitable using that business model. How much time do you need to get to that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not possible for me to gauge that unless I don't have data to gauge that, but I would like you to do that analysis and tell me how many months do you need to get to that business model to start turning into cash positive. So that anchoring the business model in a viable, monetization assumption is really key. That is something you have to get to as soon as possible. All your talk about franchising and all that is only going to work if that works. And I haven't even gotten into how you franchise this and what is the business model for franchising, and you haven't presented any of that. People don't franchise things for free, right? People need incentives to franchise something. So you need to develop a franchise business plan. Once you get your anchor business model for this business together, then you're going to need to come up with a franchise business model on how that flows off your anchor business model.
Correct.
Now talk about your financing situation. Now, as far as user acquisition is concerned, one area that you will find a lot of traction in is just organic search engine optimization. So you should aggressively optimize for organic search engine optimization. That is probably going to be your number one traffic generation mechanism. And of course, social media, guerrilla PR, blogging, all those are effective means of customer acquisition as well.
Sramana, can you explain a little more about the metrics to measure, which I should be constantly monitoring?
Metrics to measure, you need to obviously monitor traffic, the traffic that is actually engaging and working with you, traffic that is engaging in content production, traffic that is engaging in the kinds of things that you're trying to monetize. For instance, if this I want button is a key monetization mechanism, you're going to need to measure how many people are submitting I want buttons.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah. Thanks. Our last question is about internationalization. Say we run this operation for 2 to 3 months here in different cities in India, and we turn cash positive, and we find a good amount of attraction here in India. So how do I internationalize and take this application across the globe?
You're grossly underestimating how much time it would take you to get this business rolling in India. And right now, for the next 1 year, I would focus it on India.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and that will help you understand the business. It will help you anchor the business in the right metrics. You will be able to build in the metrics. You will be able to build in the anchor business model. If there is a franchise option, you'll be able to figure out what it takes to attract franchisees. I'm not convinced that this is a franchise business model, frankly. But I'm first figure out how to do this in the 7 Indian metros, and then we'll deal with the rest of it.
Yeah.
And how much funding do you have right
now? Currently, we have full funding for this calendar year 2012. Last year, we had raised close to 4 million INR. Okay.
So within the year, you need to turn cash flow positive is what you're setting your goal for the year. Is that what you're saying?
So my gut feel is I want to turn cash positive at least in next 3 months. So which reduces my dependency on investment coming in. So that's my key target.
It's always good to reduce your dependency on investment coming in. Most importantly, I think in the next 3 months, 6 months, you're going to need to define your anchor business model and start validating your business model, your pricing model, your customer acquisition strategy, your conversion rate, all of those metrics on which the business fundamentals are judged.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would say the 4 that I just mentioned are things that you need to get as much validation on as possible right away.
Actually, these things, this guidance really helps me a lot. It brings back the focus into what I should be doing correctly. So thanks, Sramana. Thanks for this advice and also giving me a lot of course correction and the direction I'm heading to. I'm pretty confident, with this kind of a focus, I'll be able to do very well.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. John, you're up next.
Yeah, that was a very complete presentation by Aaron, and he's done a lot of work, but I hope he has success. Anyway, I'm just a beginner in this business, and this is a very simple approach, but I've been worried about the housing crisis, and that's kind of a key to a lot of problems, and it's recently been picking up a little bit, but my concept is I've been through the Depression, and is that people are paying too much for their houses, especially people that have just lost their job and have a couple of kids, and they need to get out of town or high-priced area and get back to simple living, and then try and make some money on the internet or doing odd jobs or anything to make some cash, because cash, I agree with you, cash is king. With bootstrapping and everything else.
John, tell us, what is your business? What is the business that you are focusing on, and what is the value proposition? Who is the customer? Let's start peeling, just like we just went in and spent a significant amount of time peeling the onion on Arun's business. Let's do the same for your business. How do we peel the onion on your business? Let's do it step by step.
Okay, let's go to the next slide. I'm working with an architect who's a successful businessman up in San Luis Obispo, and he and I get along real well, and we spent about 3 months struggling with how we can make some money out of selling these different cargo containers to people, and we've been trying to find the right market and that sort of thing. And these containers are used all over the world, and they're originally were very cheap. Now they're getting a little more expensive. But
so let me try to understand what you're saying. You're trying to take a cargo container and turn it into an apartment. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and lots of you can go on the internet, and lots of architects have done very fancy stuff, but they usually have put glass windows in it. So our concept at first is to take advantage of these cargo containers. They're real rugged. They've been in storms out in the ocean and everything. And so we, for instance, if you want to put a window in this basic cargo container, it's actually about 6 feet by 20. And you can see from the floor plan, there's enough room to put a restroom and a kitchenette, a real small apartment, and then a roll-away bed if you want it. And so, but then also, when the architect puts a window in it, you can put a roll-away door. In fact, you can with it. And in case of a fire, it can trip a trigger and lower the actual door, and so it protects. There's steel all the way around it. We have lots of fire.
So, John, what is the assumption? Who is going to be taking these cargo containers and building these homes out of them?
Yeah, that's what we've been struggling with for 3 months, and it's a tough problem. And they've been building for houses for thousands of years, but it's a burning need to these people that have just lost their jobs, and we plan to sell it for around roughly around $25,000, and I'm mostly interested in selling the plant. And so
you can't sell the plant to random people. Who is going to be buying cargo containers and turning them into apartments? Who is likely to do that? Explain to me who is likely to buy a cargo container and turn it into an apartment. Is it the person who's going to be living in it?
That's a good question. Yeah. Well,
you cannot answer that question. How can we build a business out of this?
Yeah, that's a big problem. I don't know whether we can or not. But anyway, as I will explain a little bit later on in the presentation, we tried thinking of selling it from a business to business. And the business we're
that is fine. I think your instinct actually is correct, that the people who are going to be buying cargo containers and building apartments out of it are not the consumers. It is going to be some sort of business people potentially who think that there is a business opportunity in this, and I don't know if that class of business people exists.
Well, that's the problem. You hit the nail on the head, because but by selling to the only people we can figure out is the people that makes what's called actual prefabricated homes, and there's only about 2,000 dealers in the country, and I don't think that's enough, as I'll explain later. And I think that the only thing is to sell directly to the consumer. I don't think there's a plan.
If you look at the psychology of consumers, the kind of consumers who are going to be living in these kinds of homes, they are not the ones who are going to buy architectural plans and go buy cargo containers. They have no money.
Well, that's true. And so when I first started on this thing, I'm a big do-it-yourselfer myself, and so so I interviewed a bunch of customers in a real popular home improvement place, and about actually 10 of the people thought it was a good idea, and one guy had owned 3 acres, and he said he'd be willing to pay $500 for the plans, because in the Santa Barbara area, real estate prices are out of this. You got to have space to put these things in, and he had the space. But from experience, that's often can be a fluke, just one person. So I was trying to get an audience of 1,000 people or 10,000 or whatever, and get more opinions, and that's what we attempted to do.
Let me try to understand what you're saying. You interviewed a bunch of people who have a lot of acreage.
No.
Improvement.
There was only one person out of the 10 that had that kind of acreage. And the problem with it is to find space for these things. Now, I found a place down in Texas that I could buy. There was enough for about 10 units. I could buy a flat in about actual 10 acres, and their restrictions aren't too bad on the.
I don't think this is making any sense to me, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to give up the plan and go to something else. But if we don't,
I think you need to move to something else. I think what you're saying is that you want to sell plans to consumers who do not have any money, who are in kind of desperate situations, who are going to be willing to live in cargo containers, and you're expecting them to buy cargo containers and build houses. I think it's just fundamentally broken set of assumptions.
Well, let me say I checked the competition. It's part of your good plan, and I found a place that's an outfit that's called I think it's Tumbleweed Houses. They sell small houses, and they're doing just fine. They're holding seminars all over. They're holding one in Phoenix, all over the country, and they look like they're prospering by selling to people with these typical wooden houses, but they're real small and they're cute and they're on wheels.
That's a very different business. Selling small prefabricated homes is a very different business.
Yes, that's true. But
there is land cost involved. People buy small parcels of lands and put prefabricated homes on it. That the financial equation of that is a very, very different financial equation.
Yeah, it's true. And so anyway, and going on to these other slides and stuff, if you go back a slide where right there, I couldn't find any information on the number of people that had prefabricated houses, but I got a nice letter from the head of the big organization. They said there's approximately 12,000 homes in the country. It's kind of hard to read the slides, which is 2% of the total new homes in the country, and there's only about 2,000 dealers. That's who we're trying to send. And my conclusion is that's too small for a business model, and we should go
I agree.
into,
I think it's too small segment for B2B. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that I'll keep on working with my architect friend because just to bounce ideas off, but I don't think it's a viable thing at this point in time.
I don't think this is a viable business at all.
No, I don't either. And
I would forget about this business and move on to something more worthwhile, John.
That's my conclusion, and I think you better get some rest. You're working too hard. Anyway, that's the end of my story.
All right. Okay, folks, I'm going to spend a few minutes telling you about how we work with entrepreneurs in 1M1M, all the resources that we bring to the table. Before we do that, though, I need your help. We at 1M1M need you to help bring serious entrepreneurs into the program. You know, as I said right at the beginning, the only way this mission can be accomplished of helping 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue is by bringing in really serious, capable, resilient entrepreneurs. Resilience is a very big word because it takes a long time to make a business successful. And we are looking for these serious, resilient entrepreneurs who have the mettle to build serious businesses. So let's go through the resources that we bring to your disposal. 1m1m.sramanamitra.com is a good starting point for your exploration. Now we have a free and very comprehensive blog. You will find lots of case studies, lots of role models, trend analysis, general guidance on, functional areas of entrepreneurship or domain areas of entrepreneurship, domain-specific areas of entrepreneurship. We even have launched a comic strip recently and a video channel, YouTube video channel. All that you can access through the blog, and it's completely free. We have hundreds of case studies. At this point, over the last 6 years, we have developed literally, every year we probably develop a few hundred case studies. So over the 6-year period, we have a tremendous accumulation of case studies on the blog, and you have access to them freely. In addition, we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, and there are 4 volumes of Entrepreneur Journeys where we use this case study-based methodology to synthesize specific topics and specific issues of entrepreneurship. So each of these volumes, Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 1, the second one is Bootstrapping, Weapon of Mass Reconstruction, the third one is Positioning, how to test, validate, and bring your idea to market, and the fourth one is Innovation Need of the Hour. Each of these volumes have, somewhere between 12 to 16 case studies, and they make specific points. So what you get there is both inspiration and education. And bootstrapping and positioning are 2 cornerstone philosophies of our program. And both the Entrepreneur Journeys series as well as the 1 Million by 1 Million program emphasize on those issues. So the blog is at sramanamitra.com. The books are all available at Amazon, Kindle, ebooks internationally, as well as Flipkart in India would be able to get you all the books. Then we have these free roundtables. Pretty much every Thursday we have free strategy roundtables. We're on our 117th roundtable right now, and we're approaching about 10,000 people who have attended these sessions. I have personally coached over 500 entrepreneurs, and we have a tremendous amount of understanding of what kinds of issues you're struggling with, which is what allows us to give you such quick assessment and analysis of your business and recommendations on where to focus in such quick time, because we've done so many of these. We see patterns, and that's what has allowed us to also build the premium program. The premium program offers you extensive methodology guidance in lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startup building. We have a curriculum that teaches that methodology, and all these questions that you were asking today, for instance, Arun was asking questions about customer acquisition. Well, we have a full module on customer acquisition methods, which with very detailed training on exactly how to go about each of those specific methods of customer acquisition. We have extensive information on how to navigate a financing round, how to set the milestones of a financing round, how to negotiate a financing round, and so on and so forth. So in each category, I will go over the different categories in which we have curriculum modules. We teach you a proven methodology, and this is all based on case studies, and the synthesis is in the form of video lectures. So anyone, anywhere in the world can access them and utilize them. And there are premium members in the public chat, who can give you more of their perspective on how they're using the curriculum and the strategy consulting, which is very similar to these sessions. We have private strategy consulting sessions like these roundtables in the premium program. In addition, we do business development. If you have needs to connect with certain industry players, to the extent it's within our network, we will connect those dots. Again, there are premium members in the room who can give you perspective on how those connections happen. And of course, we help you with financing as well. Where appropriate, 99% of the businesses are actually, when they come to us or when they go to investors, they're not financeable. So we try to help you plug your gaps and assess your fundability, understand where you need to make changes, and whether your business is fundable at all. Some businesses are not fundable, and you better understand these things. So one of the tools we use is the 1 million by 1 million self-assessment. And this is a 9-point assessment tool. And for each point, we also give you access to the curriculum modules that help you understand that particular assessment point. So if you're a premium member, you can also use the curriculum modules to plug your own skill gaps and knowledge gaps in those areas. And when you come into the program, this is what we ask you to do as a first step. All this is in the 1m1m.sramanamitra.com URL. What to expect from the premium program is in the top right corner, the premium program button, and the FAQ button gives you perspective into what you can expect from the premium program, and we recommend that you study those pages. Once again, our methodology is lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups. That is the philosophy of the program. As I was talking to Arun, you noticed that I was guiding him to get to self-sufficiency as soon as possible without having to depend too much on investors. And that is the guiding principle of our program. So if Arun were to join the program, I would continuously help him zero in on a strategy that makes him investor independent as soon as possible. And then if you take investor money, that's great. If you qualify for investor capital, if you take investor money, that's great. But we try to cut your dependency on investors. We want to make sure that you can survive without investors and not go out of business. So what you have on your screen here are the different curriculum modules. We have the core modules: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building are the core modules. We also have elective modules which are aligned to the trends of the industry where we see a lot of businesses. Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education, gaming. These are areas where we see a lot of businesses. And we have dedicated modules in each of those areas. We have case studies of hundreds of successful entrepreneurs, as I discussed, and we have video lectures synthesizing the lessons from those case studies. So each module is a combination of case studies and video lectures. And what we're trying to do is kind of short-circuit your understanding of entrepreneurship, and taking you through this program is our effort to make you, within a reasonable period, a much more sophisticated entrepreneur. Most of us first-time entrepreneurs have limitations, right? We all have knowledge gaps. You know, I've been in this business for a long time, but I still have knowledge gaps. Why? Because technology is changing every day. And what we try to do is bring you in touch with all these nuances and developments in technology and how to do what you need to do better, more efficiently, more cost-effectively through this curriculum. And you could think of it as, you know, literally over 500 entrepreneurs teaching the 1 Million by 1 Million program, not just Sramana, because they have sat down and shared their knowledge and their lessons from the trenches with us. So that's kind of, you know, my voice is really going, so I'm going to have to stop the talking more, but this kind of gives you an overview of what we do in 1 Million by 1 Million. We do have an affiliate program. We offer 10% affiliate commission. And once again, I want to bring your attention to the work we're doing in Israel. We have an extensive number of sessions we are doing in Israel in the first half of March, and one of them is with Microsoft Israel, who's offering 1 Million by 1 Million scholarships. So if you are in the room and you're trying to develop your local community, please reach out to us. Irina Patterson works with all our partners who are trying to do these kinds of regional entrepreneurship development, and we will be happy to create similar programming for you so that you can develop large numbers of entrepreneurs in your community. And we are doing this in different parts of the world with various different partners. And Microsoft Israel is one of those partners. Israeli Startup Network is another of those partners. And these are very effective ways of, you know, developing large pools of entrepreneurs in any geography. We have 3 more roundtables coming up in March 1st, March 8th, and March 15th, after which I will be traveling in India for a few weeks. So we will be having live roundtables and other kinds of events in different cities, but we will not be having these online roundtables for a while, for a couple of weeks in March. And I will be back in the first week of April, and we will resume our roundtables soon after. So we will have lots of roundtables again in April. So that's pretty much all. I have one other book to refer you to, those of you who are working in India or are still looking for ideas to zero in on. Vision India 2020 is a book that you can, you know, steal ideas from. There are $45 billion ideas in there. It's written as if we are sitting in 2020 and we have built these ideas, and these are ideas free for you to take. We have a module in Vision India, in 1M1M to work on Vision India ideas. That's pretty much it. Any of you who have questions, I'll take a couple of minutes of questions, and then I'm going to have to stop talking because my voice is just giving way. If you have any questions, please put it in the public chat. Murali Alam is asking for my schedule in India. I'll be in Pune March 17th through 19th. And then I'll be in Calcutta from March 19th till April 1st, and then I'll be in Bangalore April 2nd and 3rd. That's the rough schedule. Kevin is asking, I think your position regarding advertising was pretty clear, but what are your thoughts about lead generation, affiliate marketing for bootstrap businesses? If you can sell leads and if you can do affiliate marketing and you can start monetizing quickly, I'm okay with that. It depends on the segment. It depends on the portfolio of products and the portfolio of merchants for whom you're generating leads or whose products you're selling as an affiliate. Murali, yes, there will be a roundtable in Bangalore on April 2nd or 3rd. If you follow the blog, we will publish the schedules for all these events and stuff, where we are doing what shortly. The organizers in Bangalore are still working on it. So, Kevin, you have to be careful about if you're trying to bootstrap with an affiliate model, you need to sell products that have high ticket items and have good commission value. Otherwise, by selling little pieces of, getting very low commissions of very low priced merchandise just doesn't add up. Thank you, Rakesh. Appreciate it. It's nothing serious, it's just a flu. Anybody else? Alvin, I do agree with Irina that you should speak with Irina and really we should figure out how to support your work in Houston. We are working with other angel networks and also other funds who are doing kind of more aggressive pipeline development in their particular geography. So we have a very good understanding of how to support angel networks or funds that are building deal flow in a specific geography. So we are very, very well equipped to support angel networks and funds and fund groups. We would love to work with you in Houston. And Texas in general, I suppose. Arun is asking, is there any way to do validation of a pre-revenue startup? Yes. Arun, this is a very long answer, but we have a comprehensive module called customer validation in the premium curriculum. And we strongly encourage every entrepreneur to go through it and follow that process, in a very meticulous way. Oh, valuation, sorry, I've misread you. I misread what you're saying. Valuation of a pre-revenue startup. We have that as well, yes. We do valuation on a pre-revenue startup. Absolutely, yes. There are ways of doing valuation on a pre-revenue startup. Yeah, Sudhi and Malvern, you guys can connect. Sudhi is in Houston. Sudhi's product business plan is not quite ready yet, but when it is ready, you could talk to Malvern as a potential investor. Sudhi is making very good progress. Arun, the question you're asking is a valuation question, and it's a very long answer. If you join 1M1M Premium, I will be delighted to help you figure out exactly how to do the valuation as well as issue the equity and all the mechanics of valuation and equity. This is exactly the kind of things that first-time entrepreneurs never know how to do, and we'll be very happy to coach you on it. Anybody else? All right, folks. Our upcoming roundtables next week, we have both a private roundtable and a public roundtable, and we encourage you to continue participating. If you have a business that you want to run by me, please sign up to pitch at the next, upcoming at one of the upcoming public roundtables. And if you're a premium member, of course, you have access to all the private roundtables as well. And I look forward to working with you further. Bye-bye, everybody.